It's about 5:48 p.m., so it's now time to hear from Mr. Scott Cannon, otherwise known as the Chemist with a K, to see what he has for his counterpoint today. Hello, Scott.
Hello, humans. I'm Scott Cannon coming to you live on WLTH 1370 AM from the greatest city in all the world. Gary, Indiana, and this is the Counterpoint. Well, folks, before I get started, I just want to thank everybody who came out to the Brunswick Center last night and chopped it up with us at the United Urban Network Incorporated, the Field Museum, Legacy Foundation, and others about what we can do to improve the quality of life in West Gary. We had great discussions that provided some great ideas and ate some great sub sandwiches from Stubborn Pizza and Subs. This is a great city, the greatest in all the world, and that is because of you, the citizens. Now, as I hung out at the Brunswick Center with so many of you guys last night, it at some point occurred to me what the date was. Of 9/11, it sent chills down my spine. You will never, ever forget where you were and what you were doing when those towers came down and that plane hit the Pentagon. I remember being awoken by my mom, who banged on my door and told me that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. Now, at first, I thought it was probably just some accident until I realized there were actually two planes, which made it almost impossible to have been an accident. Now, this wasn't the first time the towers had been attacked. As I remember, when the first World Trade Center bombing happened when I was a little kid, and 6 people got killed, so I thought that ultimately it'd be like that, and if maybe a few people would die and we'd find out who did it, and it'd be over. But when those towers collapsed, I think me and everybody else in America and the world at that moment knew that things had changed forever. I remember trying to escape from the horrific carnage that I just witnessed by doing what every young person at that point in time did when we wanted to escape anything happening in our lives. I turned on MTV. But there was no MTV on MTV. The music videos and wacky reality shows that I've become addicted to were replaced by coverage of this terrorist attack. So I turned on BET. And sure enough, there were no rap videos on BET for me to escape into either. So I reached for my other vice, sports. I thought surely ESPN could save me from having to think about what's happening in the world around me. But nope. Even ESPN had no sports coverage, just news coverage. Matter of fact, every channel on TV was nothing but news. And it may be sad for me to say this, but this is what scared me above all else. I thought even if the president was assassinated or the apocalypse was happening, there'd still be music videos on MTV and BET, and I could turn on Sports Center and watch some highlights, and all would be right with the world. Well, no such luck. Then I got scared because I saw police cars on my block, and I thought they were rounding up all the young black men to force us into the army to go fight in the desert somewhere, so I hid in my basement and kept the door locked. Turns out the police weren't on my block because of terrorism, but because one of my neighbors was a crack dealer. And, well, this is Gary. But still, the anxiety of that day was killing me. In the days, at least until Christmas, which was like 3.5 months later. So I will say that that was the only time in my lifetime that it seemed like there were no real divisions in our society. There were no Democrats or Republicans, no blacks or whites or Latinos or Asians or men or women, just Americans. Things that seemed so silly, like reality TV and TV comedies, took huge hits because no one would watch them even once things started to go back to normal. Now, of course, none of this lasted. In the 17 years since that day, have brought nothing but constant warfare and political polarization. But whenever anybody brings up that time period, I'm instantly transported back to that time and the anxiety that we all felt. And even the 3 or 4 videos that MTV played over and over and over again when they came back on the air. I can still hear Living It Up. I still can't hear Living It Up by Ja Rule without thinking about 9/11, which is probably the most anybody's thought about Ja Rule since 2003 or so. But one thing I will say about 9/11 is that it showed that we as Americans can pretty much get through anything. And that's an important thing to remember in times like these when so many think that the problems that we have today are insurmountable. Okay, folks, before I get out of here, let me remind you that we have another event tomorrow, another community conversation about the quality of life on Gary's West Side. This time it's at Trinity United Church of Christ on West 20th Avenue. That's the Trinity United Church of Christ from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can come out, hang out with us with the United Urban Network, the Field Museum, the Legacy Foundation, and there will be people from the city of Gary who are representing the city. There's going to be food. So if you hungry, come. You know, we had people last night who came just to eat. That's cool. Food, there's drinks, and there's fun, and you can bring your whole family, and we can have a good conversation about the quality of life on the West Side and what we in the city of Gary can do to make it better. All right, folks, chop it up with me on Twitter, @The Chemist Lives. The Chemist is spelled with the K, as I'm a product of the Gary Community School System. We can talk about politics, music, sports. You can just tell me how terrible I am at my job, or you can just wait to listen to me on Mondays from 6 to 8 on Issues and Answers with Jonathan Booz and the McGee Report. We'll be back at some point. I swear it will be. It will be brought back to you by the precocious hostess with the mostest, Jamelia McGee. I am Scott Cannon, now with the Counterpoint on WLTH 1370M. God bless the working class, and God bless labor, humans.
All right. So instead of doing entertainment news, because I really don't have anything other than Ric Flair is getting married for, the 5th time?
Oh, God.
Yeah. But other than that, I decided to do some tech news, right? So some technology stuff. Apple has just announced that they are coming out with their newest phone. It's not really I'm an Apple person, but lately I haven't. Prices were ridiculous before. Just wait until you hear what they have going on now. So they are coming out with, I believe, 3 new phones, the iPhone XS and the XS Max. Now, you can pre-order those starting on the 14th, and they will ship out on the 21st, both of this month. The iPhone XR, it will be available for pre-order on October 19th, and that will ship out on October 26th. Now, the iOS 12 will be released on September 17th. They actually have also a HomePod and TV on September 17th as well. And then they have the new Mac OS coming out on September 24th. So it's called the Mac OS Mojave. Now, all right, prices for the new iPhone range from $749 to $1,099.
Whoa.
This is the first phone from Apple to be over $1,000. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot. And then on the bright side, though, an iPhone 7 is now $449 and an iPhone 8 is $599. So, I mean, I have a 6 and I've had my 6 since it came out. So I might upgrade to the 7. I don't know. My 6 still works. And I'm just one of those people that's like, I don't have to have the newest phone as long. But yeah, so those are the prices.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
My
lot.
little Android does just fine by me.
And see, and that's why I'm like, certain things, I feel like the iPhone just works better for me. But if I didn't need those things, then yeah, I need those things, and I'm not spending $1,000 on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. I'm not even. No, not happening. But yeah, no, that's all that I have.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Scott. See you on Monday. All right. Bye. All right. It's about 5:57 p.m. And really quickly here, let's go ahead and look back into some weather. So tonight is going to drop down to about 57 degrees. It will be mainly clear and patchy fog late in the evening. Now, tomorrow it will be slightly cloudy with a high